biggest card of the year announced in the UK that features AJ and Wilder as the co-main events. Those are the biggest names in the heavyweight division, and we just today had Usyk and Fury have their press conference to confirm the date for their fight, which is going to be in February in Ryder as well too, and that's going to be called the Circle of Fire or something of that nature. But it's going to be a really good fight. It's already really saucy right now. They had a great press conference with a lot of trash talk, but you can see. I'm going to go ahead and take off the caption real quick, but you can see that this is a incredible card. When you look at it in the grand scheme of things, you got Frank Sanchez going against some guy, Fa. I think he's a Simone or something of that nature, but he's a high end heavyweight. But Frank Sanchez, this is a good moment for him to move up the rankings and everything on the WBC list. Then you have Horovic. He's going against Demori. This is more of a tune up for him, but this guy is a guy who can crack, so that's going to be a good fight as well too. Then you have Dimitri Bivol finally making his 2023 appearance. He's going to be fighting against some brother, Arthur. This is just a good tune-up, but I know this is a mandatory situation as well, too. So he's going to go ahead and have his fight, defend his belt. You got Anthony Joshua, who's going to be the headliner for this fight, going against Otto Whalen, who did fight Tyson Fury years ago and gave him a pretty tough fight from what people saw. I thought it was just because Fury got cut that, he kind of still had a chance in it, but Fury was able to do what he had to do to win that fight. Then you have Deontay Wilder going against Joseph Parker. I feel that's really the headline fight because those are two former world champions actually fighting against each other. But AJ is the one that has the big deal with the Saudi group that is putting on the fight. Then you have Dubois and Miller. That's my favorite fight of the whole situation. I feel like a lot of people have thrown away Big Baby. I think Big Baby's situation is more about, people that just didn't like him. And I know he got popped for several drugs and things of that nature, illegal substances and stuff like that. But you guys can see how big the guy is, man. And a lot of times those substances that guys are getting caught up with are fat burners and things of that nature. I don't know if it was necessarily like steroids like that, but hey, they said that's what it was, and he went ahead and did 3, 4, 5 different tests, and they kept coming back the same way. He didn't even have ground to sue these people on, but you know what? That's all in the past. This is now. I know he'll be tested before the fight. I know a lot of people feel like he doesn't deserve the right to have a big fight like this and everything, but you know what? He was one of the top 5 heavyweights in the world before he got popped in that situation. He was going to give Anthony Joshua the fight that everybody didn't expect from Andy Ruiz. That was going to be the same fight coming from Big Baby in a sense as well too. But I think that Joshua would have been able to go ahead and actually beat Big Baby Miller because the New York, the New York flow, him being at home and then maybe doing a bit too much. But all in all, it's great to see that Dubois and Miller are fighting, and this possibly will set up the Big Baby Miller Anthony Joshua fight for some time in 2024 if he can just keep clean. That's all. I would love to see that fight. I don't care what anybody says. The guy got talent. I want to see it. Makhmudov and Carriel. This one is more of a development fight. This is more of a show and prove fight. But we know Makhmudov is is going to be a heavy favorite in that one. And then this guy, Opatea, who's who's the Ring Magazine Cruiserweight champion, WBC Cruiserweight champion. He seems to be got a GQ look to him and everything like that. A lot of people like his style. I'm not very familiar with him because I don't really deal with the Cruiserweight weight class. But from what I'm hearing, he's a very good boxer. He's a very good champion, and that should be a lot of fun. But this is the right type of card to get the masses involved in a big moment. I keep trying to explain to you guys and all these big boxing fans and boxing media people and people that write articles and everything about the sport. You guys know that I'm right there in the middle of all this stuff as a credentialed member. I've worked over 50 fights in the last 5 years or so, and some of the biggest fights that have biggest gates ever as well too. So pretty much, a lot of people always are selling these smaller weights with that the lightweights and the welterweights and the bantamweights and all these people that are more a little bit more active because they can book a fight a little bit quicker. Heavyweights run the boxing world. When you can put a card like this together, the whole world will tune into it. Everybody will be glued to the TV to see exactly what's going on here. And knowing that AJ and Wilder is a very close to happening, everybody's going to be very tuned in to know that they can see both these guys on the same night. HBO used to be an absolute master of this situation back in the day. I'm going to give you a great example. When Mike Tyson had first lost his title and George Foreman was making his comeback, there was this hype about possibly putting Foreman and Tyson in the ring together. And so what happened is that they all were on a Caesar's Palace card one night. It was a great card. Michael Moore was even on that card as well, too, defending his heavyweight championship. And it was a tremendous card that night. It was a sellout situation, and there were no titles on the line, but there were heavyweights involved, so people showed up. This fight right here will rekindle a lot of memories of a lot of great heavyweight cards that had other great heavyweight fights associated with it. And that's exactly doing the right thing by the fans, giving everybody the best Christmas gift you can possibly give them. I'm excited about this situation because this is going to be a very good media marketed situation. It's not going to be something where, oh, I don't know who these guys are. Everybody knows who AJ is. Everybody knows who Wilder is. Everybody has came to know who Bivol is. And now everybody somewhat knows who Dubois is. So there's a bunch of names. There's a bunch of people who will be able to sell this fight. Joseph Parker brings in a whole country himself. So, and he brings in a whole culture with the Samoans. So if this is a absolute gem of a night, this was a great idea, but they had to put a lot of people together to make this happen. But this is because the Saudis that are putting on these fights can afford to put on these fights. They can pay everybody demand, all that good stuff. They can take care of everything. They're giving the promoters a great site fee that they can split up, and nobody has to be that greedy at the end of the day. And you know what? We wipe out all these show and prove one-sided fights that don't matter. This is going to be the card. It's going to be the card. And that's exactly how we need to have a lot of these cards when it comes to the heavyweight class. The heavyweights need to always have cards of their own. Maybe mix in a couple of these little fights and things of that nature. Maybe win a title fight, but we need to see the heavyweights on full display. That's me. And I feel like we got some of the best heavyweights in the world all on one card. And I feel like somebody called Don King and asked him exactly how do you do this thing the right way? And they're doing it the right way. So with that, that's going to be a wrap on that. And we move forward, and let's go ahead and talk about tonight's fight between